What if you could instantly see every single resource in your cloud account? A legacy database that was forgotten about, S3 bucket that's not supposed to be public, the compute resources, that whole EKS cluster that somebody started up and then forgot about and it's just burning money. Let me show you how to find all of these things. All right, first we're going to sign in to our Pulumi account. Then under Insights, under Accounts, we have all of these accounts that I've set up previously. You can see I have this production one, I have dev stacks, there's a bunch. And under these, in fact, are sub-accounts for each region because these are all AWS. So let's create our own though. So first thing I'm going to do is select what type of provider. I can do AWS, I can do Kubernetes, I can do Azure, GCP, Oracle. I can do AWS. Then I'm going to pick a name, Insights Demo. I have to set up some credentials. I have to pick providers, pick regions. I'm going to pick all. And then I'm going to tell it to scan on an ongoing basis, and I'm going to hit create. Once I do that, right, I end up on this account page where I can see the list of accounts, and under it, here's all my sub accounts. If I click on a sub account, I can see when it was scanned and if the scan worked or not. And then I can also see the resource counts here on this account page. But the best place to see the resources is on the resources page. And there, I can start slicing and dicing. Here's my Insights demo data. I can also filter there. And I can also do natural language filters if I just want to see this up here. But yeah, mainly what I do then is I start trying to understand the data by setting up these groups. Let's dig in. Let's see what we have, right? Here's Insights demo. Here's all my regions. And I can just explore and try to understand what's happening. I can dig in here under CA Central. That's in Canada. Go under data. Let's expand this. You can see we have some DynamoDB tables. Okay, looks like 4 tables. This first one, pay per request, and it looks like Lambda based. The second one, provisioned. Okay, maybe we would like to provision them all. Maybe we could save some money that way, depending on usage. What else do we have? So we have an ECR repo. Underneath that, I can see 3 images. Oh, and look here, we have an EKS cluster, ECS cluster. But yeah, this is the power of this resource view. All this data, all of these resources from my various cloud accounts, all under one heading. And I can just click and I can just explore and I can learn what's going on. When I find a nice view, right, I can favorite it and I can use it in the future and it will show up here. You can see I already have some. My favorite is, of course, accounts by region we were just looking at. But time is also super useful. I can look at the modified date here and see when things last changed. Add in my account and I can filter it even more. Because if something hasn't changed in over a year and it's in prod, maybe it was something that's forgotten about. This is EventBridge, it's probably fine. You can also just group by resource type, which is just a useful way to dig in. One of my favorite ways to do this is with natural language. And now we have these nice VPC. Let's update that. Now we have that forever. We can also use this manage by column. If I drag this to the front, I can see what things are under infrastructure as code and which are not. And this gives me a great way. I want to move everything to infrastructure as code, and now I can see what's not. And so I can target this with a project. Okay, let's start with all Pulumi dev stacks. Let's start with that compute and start moving that to be managed. Also, when I have these discovered resources, I can click in on them and I can see how they relate. And I can also see the underlying IAC record, which I can click through to as well. So any difference between what Insights found and IAC found represents drift. There's also these relationships. I can see to and from relationships, and I can start clicking through, right? From the Lambda to the Lambda permission, to the backing store, to IAC, etc. Right? The relationship exploring is another just great way to figure out what's going on. So is Copilot, right? I can use natural language questions to understand what's going on. How many lambdas do I have? I could do that in that top bar, but here I can ask follow-up questions, which is really nice. Have like an ongoing chat. What EKS clusters? And once I've discovered something interesting here, I can actually use that to set up a view that lets me view some of that data. Let me show you. It's just another way to pattern match, but I can put it up here and get that nice filter. Also, I can set up policies, right? Before we were exploring, but with policies, let me show you. I'm going to create a new policy, new Python. Now I have this code that I've set up. So I want to enforce some things on CIDR blocks and IPs. So I'll set advisory level. I don't want 0.0. I also want to put some rules in place about the size of the CIDR blocks. So once I push that and then I run a new scan, that policy will be picked up. And instead of exploratory, this is a specific rule that I'm putting in place. And then I can dig in here, right? And I can see these violations that have happened. Public internet. And I can see here on my security group, this being flagged. And then I can start working through that and I can start resolving these problems. Great for compliance, great for governance. So now you have visibility into your cloud account, whether it's managed by Pulumi or another tool or not managed at all. You can get these insights. You can start digging in, you can start wrapping your arms around what's actually going on in your cloud account. So sign up for Pulumi today and check it out.